carry. But don't with yes men, I need honest ears when in the studio. Turn down the movie roll to finish the album. I pray the outcome is good. Clayton Bigsby, I done took an out of the hood. Carrying water, chopping the wood. But you gon' always have motion if the product is good. Lord knows, it's crazy how I can just text Hove and run plays on the weekend. It's more than just XOs. When I dropped my first album, was nervous, my chest froze. Plans gon' be executed like on death row. Bought a new crib, but that is an escrow. Cause my credits go low as my self-esteem, but I grow. It's a yellow beam when I glow. I have mellow dreams when I smoke. To my fellow kings, keep the hope. I think Elohim that I woke up this morning, acting wild like a black amount. We smoked the opponent. I prayed and hoped for this moment, and if I post it, I own it.
Well, that's fire right there.
Yeah.
That's fire right there.
Yeah,
I like that.
I appreciate that.
I like that.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
What's going on? The one and only Cordae is here in the house with yours truly, Stephen A. Smith, man. That's Saturday. Is that what that was?
Yes, sir. Saturday mornings.
All right,
sir.
Saturday mornings. First of all, it's good to see you, my man. It's been a while. How you doing?
Likewise, brother. I gotta say too, man. You know, I would like to think I'm an early guest of the Stephen A. Smith show, an early friend. You know,
Right.
did quite a lot of upgrades in this thing, my brother.
Thanks a lot,
It
man.
looks amazing. It was great to start off with. Don't get me wrong. It was already amazing, but now it's like,
Right.
oh shit, like okay.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I aim to please.
Yes,
I
sir.
aim to please. Talk to me about you and where you feel you are right now in your career. Things seem to be going real well for you. You're just 27. You're
Yes,
making
sir.
things happen. How you feeling about things right now?
Man, I feel great, bro. Like I'm really blessed, and I'm sure you can relate to this. Of like, I've always had this mindset and still do about just like, all right, what's next? What's the next barrier to break through?
Mm-hmm.
What's the next level? It's just even something amazing should have just happened, and I'm already thinking about like, what's next? How do I take this to the next level? But like, right now, I think I've been finding that balance between just like staying consistent, working really hard, but just also like being present. You know what I'm saying? And just like, yo, I'm just really blessed. Like I set out and did a lot of things that I wrote down that I wanted to do. Still a lot more to do, but I say all this to say, just presently just very happy. Like my manager was just telling me, he's like, yo, you know you sold like 12 million records.
12 million. I was getting ready to throw out the number. 12 million. Won an award as well. Won a Grammy, right?
Emmy.
I'm sorry. Won an Emmy. My bad. Won an Emmy.
Nominated for Grammy.
Nominated for Grammy, won an Emmy, sold about 12 million. I mean, most people ain't doing that right now. How do you think you've pulled that off?
You know what, bro? One, I give all glory to God, honestly. Two, I don't know, man. I'm blessed because like selling music and tour, I'm even more than like the 12 million records sold. I'm really proud of like being able to sell out a tour. You know what I'm saying? Because like now with streaming to like numbers equivalent, it get a little tricky. Like I don't really know. Like back in the day, it's like when niggas sold 12 million records because 12 million motherfuckers went to the store and bought the shit. Now it's like streaming equivalence is weird. But with a show, it's like a 5-step process in order to go to a show. You gotta pay for the tickets. They gotta wait in line. If they got kids, they gotta find a babysitter. So when somebody actually shows up at your door to come to a show to see you perform, that's real love. And I've been blessed to be able to perform in all corners of the earth. And so I'm really proud of that. So I say that to say just being myself. And lately my motto has just been pushing my pen, bro. Just pushing that pen, pushing the pen.
Did you take, and I say a break, I'm thinking mentally.
Yeah, of course.
Did you feel at any point in time over the last few years, just with the climate that we're living in, the kind of stuff going on in this world, that you needed to take a step back, reflect, think about the kind of things that you wanted to do moving forward? Or has it always been about the grind for you?
I don't think I've earned the luxury to take a break, but I got a break. We all did in 2020.
Yeah.
And that was my time to where I was just thinking about like, what do I really want out of this entertainment thing? What is my goal? And just being more intentional about everything. Just being more intentional about like my brand, what's the message, what's my mantra, what's my ethos? You know what I'm saying? And so I kind of gathered that in 2020, but in 2020, I was 23 years old. I'm 27, like I'm a whole different nigga now. You know what I'm saying? Like same person, same values, same morals, but just like, you know, I have a kid, like, yo, it's all of these things transition. And, you know, even for the average American, for average person from age 23 to 27, there is a certain amount of growth. So, my bad, I'm going on tangents.
No, you're not. Go
ahead.
Thank you.
Floor's
yours.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You all right?
Thank you so much.
You all right? Take your time.
Thank you. But I got that break kind of in 2020. So I don't think, I haven't taken any breaks. Like it's time in between albums, but I wouldn't even count it as breaks because let's say my last album, I dropped it January 2022. I toured all of 2022 and 2023. And then as soon as I get off tour, I'm in the studio 24/7. And so there hasn't really been a break since I started it. But again, I feel like I haven't earned the luxury or the right for a break.
You
quite
talked
yet.
about having a list, at least a mental one, if not a literal one, where you just checked off the things that you've done and you're looking ahead to what you've wanted to do. What have you done in your mind that you can reveal to the audience? What is it that you had on your list and you said, all right, I want to do this. Check, I've done it. What has that been?
You know what? I had get in the studio with Dr. Dre on a vision board.
Right.
And I was able to do that, you know, early on. Shout out to my boy Anderson .Paak. He actually introduced us.
You know how I feel about Dr. Dre. This the GOAT, bro.
Yeah, for real.
He's something special.
No, for
he's
real.
Something special.
Nah, the GOAT. And it's funny too. I had like XXL freshmen on the early vision board of mine. I had Grammys on my vision board. And I actually had like, I put EGOT on my vision board. And so like, it's funny that I've won the Emmy first because that's the E. So it's like, I'm not assuming, you know, Grammys next, then Oscars, then Tony. So, you know, the Lord is wanting me to do it on his time and in that time. And so that was one of the things, you know, being on the Stephen A. Smith show, you know what I'm saying? One of my 2024 goals, you feel me? And yeah, bro, just one step at a time. But I feel like, you know, when you write things down, it becomes, and you're looking at it every day, it gives me personally like that extra motivation to keep it going. But just a reminder of like what I'm doing this for. Because you know, this entertainment shit is like, it's treacherous, bro.
It's crazy. How treacherous is it now compared to what it was, let's say even 4 or 5 years ago for you?
Man, you know what? It's completely different even now. Like I'm still fairly new to this shit. I've only been in it since 2018, but it's completely changed. Like even the rise, I feel like this is one of my points too. We are in a podcast epidemic right now.
Okay.
Like,
too many of them.
yes, nigga, like we don't need that many more podcasts. Like straight up, like of people that's misinformed. They're spreading misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like you've been doing this, obviously been doing this a super long time. Like you've earned the right to have your own platform and to speak on things that you speak on. Most of these motherfuckers is starting platforms not doing any research on the topics that they're
stealing other people's content.
Stealing content. It's unoriginal. They're not doing any research. They're not fact-checking things before they're speaking. And they're actually getting platforms and audience that are, but we're in a very like sheep-like, a groupthink world and system. And so you got kids who might not have even heard anything about a certain subject and they're getting their information from this podcast who may have millions of subscribers and they're giving them the wrong information. They're not fact-checked in, like even like a lot of these music review podcasts. Right. And it's like, yo, it's this little like, and it's not a race thing, but it's just more so about a culture and a research thing. It's like, yo, you got this white boy who don't know, who can't tell you when Illmatic came out, but you want to make a hip hop podcast? But you don't know when Illmatic came out? You know what I'm saying? You don't know when Ready to Die came out? You don't know.
And you ain't willing to admit and acknowledge what you don't know. You're trying to pretend like you do know.
You know what I'm saying? So you haven't earned the right to make a hip hop podcast. Not a race thing, but you haven't done your research. You haven't done the education. You haven't done the programming. You know what I'm saying? Like I love this music shit. Like I done studied the greats. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, people, I feel like we definitely in the podcast epidemic.
Okay, everybody, you know what time it is. It's time for Stephen A. Sports Picks. Look, just to let y'all know, I've been on the road, I've been traveling, so the setup might look a little bit different, all right? That's the way it goes, but it doesn't matter because I'm still here for you, all right? And that also means you need to hear about Prize Picks. In case you didn't already know, Prize Picks is the largest fantasy sports platform in all the land with more than 3 million members, where you choose 2, 3, or even up to 6, count them 6 players of any sport you love to watch and pick more or less on the projected stats for the game, all right? Pick from the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, and everything in between. And the good news, by the way, just keeps on coming because now, with Prize Picks' newest feature, Live Squares, you can make picks on real-time player projections, after a contest has started. So now you can run your game during the game. Just look for the red live indicator on the upper left corner of active squares to see the player's full game projection alongside their current progress, and then pick more or less to add the square to your lineup, all right? But the offer doesn't stop there, because Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks and you'll get $50 instantly. Now, let's look at my winning picks, all right? I'll be picking from this weekend's NFL games. First up, Giants quarterback Daniel Jones facing the Carolina Panthers secondary. More or less than 207.5 passing yards. The Carolina Panthers are the worst team in football. I know that Daniel Jones ain't the greatest quarterback in the world. Hell, he ain't anything close to the greatest quarterback in the world. But it should be hard to pass for more than 207.5 yards, okay? Especially when Neighbors is back, going up against the Carolina Panthers. It should not be hard. I'm going with more on this. More would be the answer to this question. Next up, Panthers quarterback Bryce Young going up against the Giants secondary. More or less than 178.5 passing yards. Kid's had it rough. He's looked nothing like the dude that started Alabama. Yeah, I know that. But at some point in time, you got to have a good game. Something's got to work for you. So I'm going to go with more on this too. I think he's going to pass for more than 178.5 passing yards. I'm going to go with more on this question in regards to Bryce Young, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Finally, Minnesota Vikings signal caller Sam Darnold facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. More or less than 246.5 yards passing. Trevor Lawrence is not expected to play. I don't expect the Jacksonville Jaguars to do much because of it offensively, which means the Minnesota Vikings will have more bites at the apple offensively themselves because the Jacksonville Jaguars defense will have to be on the field to stop them. I'm still going to go with less, though. I'm still going to go with less. 246.5 passing yards. To be honest with you, I don't think that Sam Darnold's going to need to do that much in order to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. So with this particular category, I'm going to go with less. Let's recap. Daniel Jones against Carolina, more than 207.5 passing yards. Bryce Young, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers, more or less than 178.5 passing yards. I'm going to go with more on that particular question. And last but not least, Sam Darnold for the Minnesota Vikings against the Jacksonville Jaguars. More or less than 246.5 passing yards. I'm going to go with less. That's more. That's more. That's less. Hey, at least I said more than less. You hear what I'm saying? You got a new single out? No. Mad as fuck.
Yes, sir.
That's the title of it. Is that one of the things you're mad about?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
That's
what else?
Let me see.
Because I imagine you're a deep thinker, and I imagine you're mad about more than one thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I'm gonna quote our good brother James Baldwin. He said to be black, and I'm paraphrasing it, but to be black and not politically aware, but to be black and socially aware is to be enraged all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I'm gonna take that quote as the genesis of Mad as Fuck. But Mad as Fuck it's not that, my song isn't that deep. But yeah, just a bunch of shit. Just like, I mean, we encounter things every day that make us mad. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's traffic, whether it's, a bunch of shit. You see some stupid shit people are saying online about, it don't even gotta be about you, about whoever. You know, the spread of misinformation, these bullshit podcasts that we going about. Yeah, a bunch of shit. You know what I'm saying?
A bunch of people have asked me, they said, Stephen A., how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do what you do every day? You on television, you know, you doing your YouTube show, you got your podcast, you got all of this going on. They coming at you all the time. Stephen A., how you deal with it? I said, first of all, 99% of the time, I don't know what the hell they talking about because I don't read it. I don't pay any attention to it because I know the objective is to distract me from what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely.
Every now and then I might listen to it just to continue to develop my alligator skin to show myself I can take it. You understand? And you march forward. Sometimes the haters inspire you more than you realize, and you could use it, you could utilize it that way. But sometimes, damn it, you just ain't in the mood to listen to that negativity because it can mess with your spirit, etc. What do you find yourself doing in order to get through it? Because I imagine, I don't give a damn who you are. If you're successful, somebody got something to say. And obviously you're a successful brother, so people got stuff to say.
Appreciate you. It takes success to know success, my good brother.
How about that?
But what was I finna say? You know what it is too? I feel like our brains, as an artist, entertainer, anybody with a platform, and just human being, our brains are more centered and engaged into negativity, unfortunately, especially when it's about us. So you may have 10,000 comments that's like, yo, Stephen A, you the man, you the GOAT, you done did this. But your brain is automatically gonna pay attention to the 500 comments that's like, whoa, this nigga sucks. But you know what I'm saying? And that's for every entertainer, artist, whatever. So I say all this to say, I try to keep that in mind. Like, fortunately, for me, it's been a lot more love than negativity. So I try to just focus on the love. And then two, like you said, like, I don't even pay attention to that shit. Like I have Instagram on my phone, I upload it, I get my news, like it's like you read the news and shit, I read the news. If I gotta upload a song or a post, whatever, do that, and I delete the shit, and I try to only have it on my phone, like, for that purpose, to read the news, get updated on what's going on in the zeitgeist in the earth, post if I got to, and then just delete it.
You don't get as much hate nearly as some other artists who will remain nameless. I'm not gonna throw no shade on them because they don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But you get a lot more love than hate. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what I pay attention to. This is from my synopsis. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there is, like, you know, like you said, haters out there, negativity, but I only try to pay attention and give energy to the love, you know? So I'm not gonna just say it's just all love and everybody just love Cordae and everybody fuck with me. I know it's obviously, it's not gonna be that. That's impossible for any artist. But I just try to stay focused and give energy to the love versus like the negativity because I've given too much energy and thought to the negativity and it make me like second guess myself, doubt myself, overthink. And like when I just delete Instagram, Twitter, social media, and I just live my actual life, it's like, nigga, like I am super.
Are you a proponent of folks getting rid of their social media accounts? Not even having anything to do with it. You ain't got no social media account. You don't know what the hell is going on. You don't receive any of it. You don't pay attention to any of it. Are you a proponent, at least in some cases, of people just having absolutely, positively nothing to do with social media?
Man, my plan is to do that. I feel like I'm not quite there yet where I want to be, and it would be behoove of me, and I'll be a fool to do that. Not a fool, but it wouldn't be wise if I would do that right now.
Because your audience is there.
Yeah, my audience is there. Right. And there's other ways to, you know, direct to consumer ways, but yeah, my goal is to get to a place in my life and my career where I don't have to entertain that at all.
Gotcha.
Like, you know, because it has positives, but you know, I feel like the negatives is pretty large as well.
You originated YBN Group. I mean, it was filled with rappers, record producers, social media personalities, and promoters from different parts of the country, if I remember correctly.
Yes, sir.
I want to know how all of that came together. And was that the key to the group's success, the fact that everybody came seemingly from a different genre? Well,
you know, I was like probably the last member of YBN. Honestly, it was started by YBN Namir and YBN Glizzy and YBN Almighty J.
Right.
And they started off on the Xbox. Like they were all friends together on the Xbox and shit. And you know, they came up and came together. And I was just cool with Namir. We had a mutual friend. And whenever we was in the same city, we would link if you would.
Right.
And so, you know, I gotta be honest, like Namir just threw me that oop. He honestly just threw me the crazy oop and I called it and slam dunked it. So I'm like forever grateful. Like, no matter what Namir got to say about me, I don't got nothing but the absolute highest things to say about him because he shined that light, you know, when he didn't have to and he owe me that. So I got nothing but love for him and that group and like what is and what it's done for me and like, you know, and just not even more so what it's done for me, but like that time in my life, you know what I'm saying? Us just being young, making music, traveling the world and stuff. So that was really like Namir and them that constructed and construed that whole thing.
Okay.
You know?
You talk about what was done for you. What do you believe you've done for the music industry, for hip hop?
I feel, I don't know, this is gonna sound narcissistic, but you know, fuck it.
I'm asking you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All you doing is answering the question.
That's true.
That's all.
True.
Don't let that. Blame me for that, damn it. Blame me.
Well, since you mentioned it, brother, let me pull out.
There we go.
But I feel like I bring a much needed balance to music. Because it's a lot of dark shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's cool, like how you express yourself. You know, Edgar Allan Poe was dark, you know what I'm saying? Langston Hughes had some dark poems every now and then, right? So like, it's a lot of darkness in music and that's fine, you know, like, cause that's how you expressing yourself and you gotta talk about your environment. I mean, I got a song called Mad as Fuck. I got a song called Broke as Fuck. Sometimes you gotta let that get out of you. You know, like how Mad as Fuck came about. I don't really complain too much, to be honest. I
But just because you ain't complaining too much don't mean you ain't feeling it in your soul.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to say we just talked about this earlier. If I complain, I like to be solution-based. I'm a solution-based complainer. Like, I was at my homie's crib and shit, we was playing the game, and I was just thinking in my head, like, damn, this nigga TV small as shit. But I didn't want to see it. We in there playing the game, this shit like a 30-inch TV.
Right.
I'm like, damn, this nigga TV small.
Not in today's day and age. You got to be at least 75.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I was just like, I was thinking about it, and I was just laughing, because I was like, yo, this TV small as shit, nigga.
Right.
Like, my boy was like, what you laughing? I was like, nah. He's like, what, the TV small? And I was like, nah, but I say that to say I end up, and I don't want to say like, oh, I did this for my homie, but I didn't want to bring up that TV until I got them a new one. I got him a new one as like a housewarming gift. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, yo, I want to let's be solution-based. So, wrapping back to your question of what I'm needed for in not needed, but what I think I've brought to hip hop is just positivity amongst so much dark shit, refreshing sound amongst so much dark shit, authenticity, and just realness. I just be myself. I can't be compromised. I'm going to always say what's on my heart, whether right or wrong. I'm going to always say what I feel, whether right or wrong. I'm not on no politically correct vibes. I'm not for no huge corporation. You know, I'm not here to like, oh, you know, entertainment, you know, you got to be smart, right? Don't be a fool. But I feel like we owe it to the general public and the fans to still like speak with our heart, say what's on our mind, and not be too afraid to burn bridges that we're robots. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like what I bring to music is like authenticity, me speaking my full truth and nothing but the truth, whether right or wrong. Right. And a fresh sound and just some light.
I could be wrong. I don't recall hearing you much, and I'm going to bring this up, and I'll only go as far as you want me to because this is your business. But congratulations, you got a baby.
Oh, thank you.
Naomi Osaka.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
she fantastic tennis player.
Oh,
fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. But we know her story in terms of what she had to go through with fans.
Yep.
And what she had to deal with. What was that like for you as the man in her life, seeing her go through that and thinking to yourself, what could you do, if anything at all, in light of the fact that she's in the public eye and you had people that were just coming at her because that's what people are going to do. You got fans and you got people that want you to lose. And everybody wasn't rooting for her. What was that like for you?
Well, to be honest, when she was going through all of that stuff, like, I'm on tour. While she's on tour, I'm on tour. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the best when you can't be there in person for somebody. Right. You know, so it kind of sucked that she had to, go through that by herself. And it's funny, my first time going to a tennis event, regardless, was at the US Open. I was just like,
I saw you.
I felt uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, damn, like, yo, this feels like a lot of classism. You know what I'm saying?
No
a
question.
lot of racism. I would say more classism than racism. But I just felt like a black sheep, if you would. And so I can only imagine as a black tennis player, I'm just a bystander in the crowd, and I felt like hella out of place. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm myself in every venue where I'm at. So I'm like, let's go, nigga. At the US Open, it's all quiet. And niggas like, what? You know? So I say all that to say, yeah, man, it's hard, man, because it's like when you're like, and it's not like a team sport either. And I don't want to speak for her because I don't know what she truly felt. And I don't want to be, I ain't her PR and I'm not her spokesperson. So I don't want to misrepresent her. Of course. But I can only imagine what it feels like when you're out there by yourself. You don't got teammates. You can't even I think they can just now start talking to the coaches. So yeah, it's easy for them to feel alone out there. And that's a whole nother layer when you add you're a person of color. You know what I'm saying? Well, and you're a loud person of color. When you speak, your ideals and your truth. So.
It broke my heart to watch her go through that, and this is the last thing I'll say about that, because you have a right to know. You have a right to know where I stood on that issue. Yeah. On one hand, I felt incredibly sad for her for having to go through it. But I cover sports. Yeah. And it seemed very normal to me what people were doing. In other words, she's great. We don't want her winning. She busting people ass left and right on the tennis court. Get them white girls up out of there. Anything that we could do to distract her and to stop her from continuing to bust out, you know what, for the athlete that we're rooting for, that's what they were going to do. You're a Washington Commanders fan in football, right? Yes, sir. Well, you go to MetLife Stadium, ain't nobody rooting for them. You go to Dallas, ain't nobody rooting for them. So I was saying to myself, as a sports fan, as wrong as it may be, there's no way to escape that because nobody is going to stop. How do you continue to move forward, knowing that the world that we're living in, you're going to have people rooting for you, and then you're going to have people rooting against you, and those who are rooting against you will do everything they can to derail your success. I'm like, what do you say to that? I'm asking you as a sports fan more so than anything else.
Yeah, of course.
How do you deal with it?
Well, I feel like with tennis is different because it's such, the culture at a tennis match is like nobody don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's very like you speak when, and I might be the wrong representative because I've only been to not too many, you know.
Same here.
But I feel
and
like
I cover sports.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
but the culture is just like quietness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like quietness. You know, it's very it's a club sport. It's a very elitist sport. Is how the vibes that I get from it. So hecklers,
everybody don't feel invited. I say the same thing about golf.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody, I don't necessarily feel invited.
Yeah, so hecklers aren't as often in that sport as it is like basketball, football, and whether, you know, hecklers right or wrong, like you said, it's a part of the game, but it's just much more of a standout. In tennis sport, it's super rare versus basketball. Niggas like, hey, nigga, you suck every day. You know what I'm saying? And so just going back to just athletes in general and how they should deal with that, I feel like everybody has their own process. I mean, you got headphones. I guess where you playing, you can't put on headphones. But I don't know. It's like everybody, I'm not an athlete, you know? So I don't want to give athletes advice on how they should deal with fans, hecklers, and things of that nature. Like when I'm performing, it's all fans in there.
That's where I was going. Is it all fans when you're performing?
Yeah, because they had to pay for a ticket. Like when I'm doing a Cordae headline show, like that's what I'm speaking of. It's all, they literally pay to see me. It's nobody else there but me. So it's like literally like all love and admiration. Now let's say when we do a festival, like a Coachella, it's like 100 other artists. Right. You know, it ain't gonna be, I haven't got any like boos, fortunately. I haven't got, you know, feel like I put on a really damn good show.
What do you think you would do if you did get boos? How do you think that would affect you?
Honestly, so the equivalent of boos to me performing is a dry crowd. You know what I'm saying? If they're just not energetic.
They ain't reacting, they ain't giving it back to you.
And in that case, brother, I put in both of my in-ears. And I just treat it like it's TV performance. I just put on my in-ears. I still give them a great performance. I rock through it, and I get my money.
You address a lot of social issues. I'm thinking about Crossroads. Your third album's coming out November 15th. I ain't forget that. Don't worry about it. I'll be pumping that over in the days to come. Make no mistake about that. But I want to ask you, because you address a lot of social issues.
Yes, sir.
In your music. How do you decide what issues you're going to address?
Just about what's most important, what connects with me the most. On the day I dropped Saturday Mornings, it was when the police killed this black woman. Okay. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, and I don't want to sit down and research. But I say all this to say, I had to drop a single the same day that happened. And part of me was like, yo, this is crazy. This is fucked up. Like, yo, we got to protect ours. We got to protect our black women. Like, this is like, oh, this is crazy. Right. This is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And part of me was like, I didn't want to post it because I didn't want to seem like I was pandering on the day I dropped the single. It just happened to occur the same day. But I'm like, nah, I know where my heart was at. This really affected me. This really fucked me up. I was raised by all black women. I got 8 aunts. You know what I'm saying? My mom, like, so I say all this to say, just things that connect with me personally. You know what I'm saying? Things that connect with me and move me personally is what I try to speak on.
You fly under the radar.
Yes, sir.
In a lot of people's eyes, you're pretty much under the radar. Number one, is that intentional? Number two, how do you pull it off, considering the level of success you enjoy?
You know what? It's definitely intentional, because even this is my first interview for this entire like album rollout. You know what I'm saying? And because we have a relationship, we've been locked in for years. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was important to do it on this show.
I appreciate that.
No, I appreciate you for giving me the space to speak. And but yeah, just being very intentional, because I don't want to oversaturate myself, and I don't want to mince and waste words. You know what I'm saying? I feel like a lot of people just be talking just for the sake of talking. You know what I'm saying? And we don't, like I was going back earlier of like, it's too many podcasts. Like, can it really be that many opinions about other things that's going on? Like, So I just try to offer a unique perspective on things. Going back to the music question, whatever I feel like I can offer a unique perspective on, something that hasn't been said before, and also things that touch me personally. And with me just like, laying low, it's just for my peace of mind too. Like just for my personal peace of mind. I like to live like a fairly normal life, you know what I'm saying? High level, of course.
Right.
I work very hard.
But you are with somebody who's one of the greatest players in the world.
Yes,
you
sir.
understand? How you gonna live a low profile life when you got somebody that large?
Yeah.
You understand? And you large.
Yeah, absolutely.
It ain't like she out there doing her thing and you home, working a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
How you pulling that off?
Man, what's funny? She moves even lower than me, like
Yes,
in the
she does.
sense of like low keyness,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, I don't know, just being intentional. I feel like just being intentional about everything. Like even when I go out in public, like my hair is the dead giveaday. When I wear my hair, when I'm like out like this, I gotta take 100 pictures and I'm fine with that. It's super cool. But like, I just wear a do-rag, shades, mask. Right. So just being intentional,
I'm gonna throw something out to you. I wanna get your opinion on this because you brought up like the invasion of the epidemic, the podcast epidemic and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's what I detest about it.
Okay.
Like, this shit here is earned. It ain't given.
No,
I put in decades before I decided to do something like this.
Absolutely.
It's not the fact that people have podcasts. It's exactly what you pointed out. It's what they doing with it. I'm seeing cats and again, you put in work.
Yeah.
I put in work.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at people with podcasts and it's like, all right, let me tell you what happened. And they're playing a clip of somebody else's work, somebody else's interview. They're putting it out there. They sitting at the same desk, they ain't moved, they ain't traveled, they ain't researched, they ain't do any of this. Well, let me tell you what I feel about this. And for some reason, that's a podcast. And as a result, they're getting paid off of that. And the way I view it is, you want to get paid for not working.
Fact.
Because we could tell the difference between those who's putting in the work and those who don't. That's what appalls me about the podcast business because I'm in it, right?
Absolutely.
It's supposed to be a form of journalism, all right? A form of commentary. And to me, that's not the case in a lot of situations. As a musician, as an artist, how does it make you feel if you see somebody out there that ain't putting in the work, but for some reason is getting a little bit of shine, even when that work isn't there?
Honestly, I'd be like, man, get your money, bro. I don't got an ounce of hater in me. Like, yo, get to it, bro. That don't got nothing to do with me. It is enough like I said,
it's enough for everybody.
It's enough for everybody. I am blessed, bro. I've done 3 headline tours across the world. All of them sold out. You know what I'm saying? I do very well for myself. It's like, okay, like I don't get it. Like even like when I have like friends and family that do music and they play it for me, and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna give you my opinion, but I am one human being, bro. It's artists out there that I think are garbage juice, bro. Straight garbage juice, but they doing their thing. You can find the audience. We're in the age now, just find your niche audience, cater to them, and they're gonna tell their like-minded friends about it. You know what I'm saying? And so, 7 billion people in the world. So when I see an artist that's like garbage juice and they're like going crazy and blowing up, it's like, yo,
get yours. Get yours while you can.
Get yours, absolutely, because gold don't get old, and like longevity, those that's supposed to be here always stay here.
Got you. That's a good point. That's a good phrase to live by. Crossroads, back to that. What can fans expect?
My best work yet. Like my whole model, like I was telling you earlier, has just been pushing that pen. Like production wise, I think this is my most tasteful beat selection out of all my previous projects. And I just been pushing that pen. Like there's some songs where I rewrote the verses 8 times. And I might end up just going back to the very first verse. But the fact is, I at least wanted to push my pen to see if I can take it further. Some verses, out of the 8 verses that I wrote, I take a piece of this, piece of that, piece of that, piece of that, and that becomes the verse. But because once music is out, it's out, bro. It echoes into eternity forever. Once it's in the zeitgeist, it's there. It's no going back. And so I just sleep a lot better at night knowing that I put my all into it, and I tried my very best to push it, to take it to the highest level I can, like creatively. And my motto right now, the last year has been, if I had a time machine, I'd go in that time machine and play the music back for a 16-year-old Cordae. Is he impressed with the music? Not with, oh my God, I made it. I got Emmys and Grammys. I done sold millions of records. Like, nah, it's just like, I just go back in the time machine, play him the music. He needs to be impressed of like, yo, I was able to get that good. Like, I was able to create something that's good. Like, wow. And if I don't think it impresses 16-year-old Cordae, then it's going to stay in the vault.
I want to take a second to make sure everyone knows we are smack dab in the middle of the NFL season, and with games being played Thursday night, Sunday night, and Monday night, I couldn't be more excited. But what's even more exciting is that Prize Picks wants to help you cash in on all those big-time games. You see, Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app where you can pick 2 or more of your favorite players, and then you simply select more or less on the projected stats for the game. Pick a player's passing yards, rushing yards, and total touchdowns. The list is absolutely endless. And the good news just keeps coming, because with Prize Picks, you can choose from any sport you love to watch: basketball, football, hockey, soccer, even MMA, all in the same entry. I make my picks and submit early, all in less than 60 seconds. And now, with Prize Picks Live Squares option, you'll be able to place mid-game picks on full game projections. Just look for a red light indicator on a square in the app during games and pick a player's game projection after their game has started. And if you sign up now with code SAS, of course, Prize Picks will give you $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. You don't need to win your lineup to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. All you have to do is play a $5 lineup on Prize Picks and you'll get $50 instantly. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy. I've never met an artist that don't have an opinion about sports.
Come on.
Before I let you get on out of here.
Let's do
What
this.
the hell is on your mind about the sports world? Let's get that out the way. First of all, what's on your mind? Is it NFL? Is it NBA? What's on your mind most?
Both of them, man. I'm tapped into the NFL. I see the Jets just got
Devontae Adams.
Yeah, GM,
That's right.
Aaron Rodgers.
That's
you know how
right.
they say that about
There you
LeBron, GM, Aaron
I don't know what it's
Rodgers.
going to do for them with Baltimore, Kansas City, Buffalo,
Yeah, they ain't
Houston in the
messing
same
with- Buffalo
conference.
just got Amari
Cooper.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, yeah. That's a big pickup for them.
Yeah, nah. Commanders. I see the Panthers. You know, my dad's a big Panthers fan, so I grew up heavy on Panthers.
Really? My
Yeah.
condolences to your dad.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Horrible franchise.
They're horrible.
Yo, we have the worst GM in sports. How the fuck, excuse my French, but it's the only way to say it. How the fuck, I'm saying excuse my French 30 minutes in an interview.
Right.
But yo, how the fuck do you trade away Christian McCaffrey for 2 second-round picks?
How do you miss that badly on Bryce Young compared to C.J. Stroud? Now, I know Bryce Young coming out of Alabama was all world, but damn, you see how small he is? And you look at the offensive line, it's supposed to protect. I mean, I stood in front of him.
They spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the offensive line.
And then they want to talk to me like I can say something different than what I'm saying. I'm like, I can't help you. I mean, it's just that damn bad. Now, I will say this about your Commanders. Jaden Daniels is the
Yeah.
truth.
Nothing
Jaden
to play
Daniels is the
with.
truth. I'm trying to lay low because I don't want to jinx him. I don't want him to get hurt like RG3 got hurt.
Don't bring
You
up
know
that
what I'm saying?
cornball brother, man.
Don't stop. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't bring up my man Rob Parker like that. Don't do it.
Okay,
Don't do it.
we
We gonna let that go. But I tell you this, RG3 was big time.
Nah,
Until Olodinada nearly
boy,
got
that
his leg
cornball brother
amputated.
was throwing that
Oh,
thing,
man,
man. Yo,
please,
we
that
let him-
brother was special, no doubt about it.
for sure.
Jaden Daniels, you believe in him?
Absolutely. 100%. I rebuke all RG3 energy. In Jesus' name.
Rebuke
for
it.
Rebuke it. Nah, Jaden Daniels the one. You know what this reminds me of? Like, just that excitement. They didn't do what they were supposed to do, but I remember just being in 6th grade, we had like Jason Campbell, like QB, Santana Moss, Clinton Portis, Albert Hansworth.
Right.
You know,
No doubt.
before the season started.
Let's not
but
forget Sean
Sean
Taylor. God
oh
rest
my
his soul.
God, what a monster.
Monster.
Oh my goodness, but that squad just had me so excited before the season started. Now they went 8-8.
Right.
God rest Sean Taylor's soul. But I say this to say, this Commanders team, man, it's looking real good for us.
I think
in
they
the
could win
future.
the NFC.
We got rid of Dan Schneider, man.
I think
we had to get. He was.
Ain't that something?
Yeah, we had to get. He was cursed.
I don't even know he in the country. He won't come back in the country. He over in England somewhere.
He was cursed, man. Like, we good, dog.
I know that, listen, Josh Harris, a billionaire. He paid over $6 billion for the franchise, but part of that ownership group is Irvin Magic Johnson. How you feeling about that?
I love it, man. I love it. This is great. Now, they need to buy the Wizards, too. They don't own the Wizards.
No, they don't.
Oh, okay.
No, they don't. You do know this. They almost as bad as the Carolina Panthers.
They might be
It might be worse.
Yeah, nah,
But I mean, the only thing you could say is that at least Carolina only puts us through 17 weeks of misery. The Wizards put us through 82 games of this shit.
Yeah, man, the Wizards is bad.
All right. So who you got in the NBA this year?
NBA, I like the Mavs. I think the
Come
Mavs.
on,
No,
stop.
Let me tell you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. They just got their ass whipped in the finals, and you bringing them up because they got Klay Thompson.
Man, I think he got a bone to pick, man, and he got a point to prove. Man, I feel like people been playing with him. I feel like
he's big time.
You know, he's big time.
Hall of Famer, one of the great shooters, but they think he lost a step. Golden State thinks he lost a step defensively.
And now he's a third option versus a second option.
Okay. If he's open, he gonna make shots.
He gonna hit that. He got
gonna make shots.
And Kyrie handing it off to him, man.
Here's my issue with Kyrie Irving.
Oh,
spectacular.
Lord.
Spectacular throughout the years. Put on a show in the playoffs.
He's amazing.
And was absolutely sensational in the finals in Dallas. But in Boston, he forgot how to play.
No.
In Boston.
We ain't gonna do that. Look, I'm gonna tell you, that's my brother in real life.
Okay,
so I'm a little biased.
Okay.
I'm a little biased.
All right.
I'm a little biased. That's my tribe for real, for real. That's my main man.
I got a lot of love for him despite what people think. We had our disagreements, but I respect the hell out of him, and I got a lot of love for him.
And going back to the point of like that courage. And that willingness to speak his truth.
He did.
No political correctness.
He did.
And I feel like the entire world, and you said this publicly, owes him an apology.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, people owe this man an apology because he stood on his beliefs and his morals, and we gotta reward that as a community.
In fairness, with you sitting here, I'll look right in the camera and I'll say this.
Okay.
I got on him.
Yeah.
But I got on him because I got tired of him missing them damn games. He's too great for me not to watch you play. He's too great. But I was never of the mindset, take the vaccine during the COVID pandemic because it's the vaccine.
Yeah.
I was of the mindset, they KD in Brooklyn because of you.
Yeah.
James Harden in Brooklyn because of you. Do what you got to do to make sure you win in the chip in Brooklyn. That was my position. But I do owe him an apology. So does everybody else in this regard. What we've seen the politicians turn it into.
Yeah.
What we've seen revealed about COVID, the vaccine, and all the stuff that comes with it, the conspiracy theories and beyond, the inconsistencies, the statistical lies. Kyrie look a hell of a lot better now than he did years ago. People like me and others need to shut the hell up about that issue. We can't say anything against him at this point.
No.
Did I do well?
That was great.
Was that
good?
good?
Hey, appreciate it, brother. That was
doubt.
love right there.
My man, I'm proud of you, man. Keep making it happen. Crossroads drops November 15th. All the best to you, man. Always home here for you, my brother.
I appreciate you.
Thanks
you
a lot.
I'm going to take this couch with me, too, man. It's real
I need the couch, man. I ain't got your money. I don't feel like buying another one.
We ain't gonna talk. We ain't gonna do that, brother. But you know what? All right, we good. We gonna do that.
All right, y'all.
Yes, sir.
My guest is one of the greatest heavyweight boxing champions of all time. He returns to the ring in an official capacity to take on YouTuber turned professional boxer, the one and only Jake Paul, November 15th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, live on Netflix. Please welcome the man, the myth, the legend, Iron Mike himself, the one and only Mike Tyson. What's up, big time? How you doing, bro? How you doing?
Everything's great. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
The fight was supposed to be in July. It was postponed because of an ulcer flare-up, according to reports. First order of business, how are you feeling for this fight?
Great. I feel great. Everything's fine.
So I got to ask you, what made you want to fight Jake Paul? I mean, there's a lot of money, and that's always an incentive for all of us, but I get the feeling that it's not just that with you. What's up?
I can use a buck like everybody else, but this money, believe it or not, is going to change my lifestyle. And, it's not going to change my lifestyle. I'll be able to do what I'm normally able to do if I didn't have this fight. It's just the fact this is what I want to do. I want to get out of my comfort zone, and I want to test myself. Whatever I'm afraid to do, I do it. That's just my mentality. If I'm afraid to do something, I do it.
You're attacking your fears. I remember years ago, Cam Chancellor for the Legion of Boom with the Seattle Seahawks when they were winning Super Bowls told me the great ones always attack their fears.
Ooh, that's deep. I never heard that before. That's pretty heavy.
He told me, Iron Mike, he said, listen, I said, how do you ultimately end up being so successful as a team? He said, everybody that enters this locker room, we find out what their fears are and we make them face it. That's how we do it. That's why we win. And that's what he said. Having said all of that, I want to say this. The fight's going to be live streamed on Netflix, okay? Tell me how you feel about Jake Paul. What do you think about him as a fighter and why you took this fight with him?
Hey, listen, I think he came a long way as a fighter from when he first showed himself on Roy Jones, Mike Tyson card. And he built himself up to be quite a sensation. And I just think it was only right. It was a no-brainer for me and him to fight. I started him on my card and then I'm finishing.
How much pressure, if any at all, do you feel to win this fight, even though you're twice his age and you haven't been in the ring in an official sanctioned bout since 2005? How are you feeling pressure-wise about needing to beat him?
Well, I feel in great condition. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday I box 8 rounds, and I don't know. I'm ready. I don't look at it as I'm some old guy that's decrepit going to fight this young guy. I'm fighting a guy with 10 fights. You know, he's sensational and he's hot, but I'm fighting a guy with 10 fights, and I just think I can handle this situation.
You gonna knock him out?
I think I'm going to hurt him. Yes.
You know, watching Jake Paul, I really respect what he's done for his career. I really respect what he's done for the sport of boxing because he's one of those guys that's saying, I don't have to depend on promoters to do this for me. I'll do it myself. Having said that, I'm tired of seeing him go up against boxers we don't know or strikers from the UFC or basketball players, something. I like the fact that he's in the ring with a former champion. What do you think you're going to bring to the table that he has not seen?
My whole existence. It's everything. Listen, I hope he's taking this very seriously. That his health depends on it.
I was getting ready to ask you, why do you say that? Because his health depends on it. Watching, I'm imagining that you've watched him fight. What have you seen from him as a fighter that makes you so confident you can take him out?
Well, I'll keep that to myself.
You ain't gonna tell me, Mike? You ain't gonna say anything, you just gonna keep it to yourself?
I whisper to your ear when I see you in person.
You know, I'm looking at you right now. The last time we saw you fight in an officially sanctioned bout was in 2005 when you lost to Kevin McBride. You lost to Danny Williams before that, beat Etienne before that. When you look at yourself and how you've aged, people look at you and they see you sparring and they say, there's still a lot there. This is Iron Mike Tyson. Mad respect for him. What do you believe that you've done since retirement that has you so confident that this is a fight that you could win against somebody half your age?
Well, I stopped doing drugs. I stopped drinking liquor. I stopped just throwing my life away, and I took my life serious. I became basically a responsible family person. If that makes any sense.
Okay. Well, when did you stop all of that? When would you say you stopped all of that?
About 8 years ago. Might be 9, but I'm giving 8.
And what happened that made you stop 8 or 9 years ago?
I had some experience with, I had a psychedelic experience, DMT experience.
At age 58, how do you train to fight an opponent like Jake Paul at age 58? What's different now compared to, let's say, what you would have done in your younger heyday?
Get sparring partners, spar, train, get in shape, get strength and conditioning. Just do the basics, give it the best you got. Give it everything you have. 3 times a day.
Mike, do you think your ultimate advantage is the fact that he hasn't been in the ring with a true boxer who's a power puncher that has really tested him?
My advantage is that I'm just a better fighter.
Period.
Yes.
Look, man, before I let you get on out of here, there's a couple of things that I wanted to bring up because I wanted to promote this for you. Quick service, plant-based food company you invested in, Mr. Charlie's told me so.
Yes.
What got you involved in a quick service, plant-based food company? You eating some of that stuff to train for this fight?
Absolutely. I'm just a strong believer in self-awareness and taking care of yourself. And what people put in their body is what they are.
If you win this fight,
When I win, yeah.
When you win this fight in a lot of people's eyes, especially if you do it by knockout. Are you one and done, or are you the type of person approaching 60 years of age that's going to think you could go back in the ring and do it again?
Hey, listen, sky's the limit, brother. Sky's the limit.
Good luck, my man. It's good talking to you, my brother.
Thank you very much.
No doubt. The one and only Mike Tyson himself right here with your boy Stephen A. Smith on the Stephen A. Smith Show. You can check out the long-awaited Tyson versus Jake Paul fight streaming live and free on Netflix. Remember, Friday, November 15th. Don't miss it. Don't miss it.